Hi, I'm Danny.
And I'm Si. Welcome to Business in the Brew, a podcast dedicated to all things business with the occasional cuppa.
We take a business story, theory, or something we just want to chat about and give it a dusting of our own special personality and sense of humour, combined with our experience and knowledge. We're both business graduates and have run our own businesses for many years. We can't wait for you to listen. I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm confident this is not going to go in the direction we want it to go in, but I'll give it a go anyway. What is the one question you ask at a craft beer festival? This is going somewhere, by the way.
What are its characteristics?
Yeah, that's not what I needed you to say. Oh. What I need you to say is this.
Let me put my glasses on.
Oh, what? Okay, not today.
It says, what's actually in the water that grew the barley that made my pint?
Oh! It's so interesting you should ask that question, because not many people do. Thanks! So, obviously no twat ever says that at a craft beer festival.
That's a swear. We don't normally swear on here, do we?
We swear all the time.
Oh, okay.
They have to have explicit warnings on every single episode.
Fine.
Because if the answer was actually the same as it is for most of the barley grown in the UK, the US and across the world, the answer includes a word I can't pronounce. Glyphosate.
Oh, glyphosate, yes.
Yeah, glyphosate. The active ingredient in Roundup weed killer. You know, the stuff you put in your driveway. Not you personally.
You're not suggesting that's in beer, are you?
Yes, I am suggesting that's in beer. Probably not craft beer, to be fair, because of the small batch production and the way they do it. But
as a what's it called? As a trace amount that passes. Yes. Oh.
So it is the most widely used herbicide on Earth and has been classified as a probable human carcinogen. So I double-checked the meaning of probable human carcinogen, which is there is strong evidence it can cause cancer, but studies are not yet conclusive.
I did see...
Enough to put me off, put it that way.
Hang on, was the news... Are you coming to the news that was issued last week? Right,
yes.
Okay.
So this is very much a current story.
Yeah.
So it was the World Health Organization, the WHO, that classified it as a probable human carcinogen, which is worrying in itself. It's been found in 95% of popular beer brands tested in independent studies.
Oh, my God.
And it is currently at the centre of the US Supreme Court case, which is the one you just mentioned, that could reshape how chemical companies are held accountable for harm. With the oral arguments having been heard on April the 27th, 2006. So literally, I think that is April the 27th when we're recording this. I don't know what the date is today.
2006?
Oh, no, last year. No, hang on. I'm confused. Anyway, I meant 2007. I've confused myself. No, 2006. That's this year. What year are we in?
No, we're actually 20 years post 2006.
2026. I can read. It's been a long day already.
Oh, dear.
April the 27th, 2026, which is actually today, the day we're recording this. We're there now. And a decision is expected by the end of June.
Well, shouldn't we have recorded this after that?
No, don't be rude, because I've already written it and it's too late. I'll do like a little... This is just Danielle coming back to tell you about the oral findings.
Tack it on to another.
Yeah, we'll tack it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like blue tack. Right. And most of the people drinking a pint have no idea this is happening, which is not surprising because otherwise they probably wouldn't be. Except those people that drink like Carling because they don't give a toss, do they?
Oh, can you say that?
Probably. I don't drink it. I can't say it again. Glyphosate. No.
Glyphosate.
You just keep correcting me. Glyphosate was developed by Monsanto.
Monsanto.
I can't say any of my words today.
I'll help you.
Thank you. And launched as Roundup in 1974. And we've done an episode on Monsanto.
Yes, we have.
Which later became Bayer.
Yes.
Or was bought by. Was acquired by. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it works by blocking a specific enzyme pathway in plants that humans and animals don't have. So regulators initially considered it relatively safe because it's not something we have in ourselves. So it became truly ubiquitous in the 1990s when Monsanto introduced...
Only the 1990s, right.
When Monsanto introduced Roundup Ready crops. So they literally genetically engineered to be resistant to it, meaning farmers could spray the entire field and kill everything except the crop. Genius, really.
It is, it's clever. There's no doubt about it.
Unless you think about the chemical element to it.
Now just a quick story about glyphosate. I had a brief stint at sharing an allotment just to see what it was like. To give it like a test drive over one summer.
Was that when you were in your 50s?
Oh, no.
How old were you?
I was in my 30s. Stop. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, you've got an awful lot of weeds on this allotment. What we're going to do? And he said, it's all right, I'll nuke it.
Wow.
So spraying glyphosate on it was basically...
That was your organic veggies, was it?
Yes.
Right, lovely. Sounds really tasty.
Yeah.
Oh, you should make me feel a bit sick.
Yeah, but that was before you planted anything, basically.
Fair enough, okay. Yeah. So, because of that genetically engineered crop, it drove an explosion in usage. Today, around 280 million pounds of glyphosate.
Why
can't I say it? Are sprayed annually on 298 million acres of US farmland alone.
Wow.
An area roughly the size of 3 Californias.
Wow.
In the UK, the same thing I can't say, glyphosate is sprayed on
Glyphosate
is sprayed on 5.4 million acres of land every year.
Wow.
This is just an episode of you correcting how I pronounce things.
It's great fun.
Thank you. Then in 2015, everything changed because the IRAC working group classified the thing I can't say as probably carcinogenic to humans, as we said earlier. Based on limited evidence of cancer in humans and sufficient evidence in experimental animals, further supported by strong evidence for genotoxicity.
Right.
And the lawsuits that followed have cost Bayer, which is the company that acquired Monsanto, in 2018 dearly. There have been 24 Roundup trials so far with over $8 billion awarded to victims, and the company has settled around 100,000 claims for approximately $11 billion.
Right, and this is still being produced, or are they seeking out alternatives to it?
Well, one hopes they're doing both at the same time. So the most important thing to get right is that the IRAC working group that has classified this doesn't assess risk, it assesses hazard. So a probable carcinogen means that there is evidence this substance can cause cancer under some conditions, not that a pint of beer will give you cancer. So it's not a scare tactic, it is a genuine finding. For context, the same group, which is Group 2A category, includes red meat, emissions from high temperature frying, and the occupational exposure of being a barber.
Barber?
I'm assuming it's inhaling the hair.
Is that what they do?
Well, you would do when you're shaving, wouldn't you? Sniffing your hair as they should. I don't know.
Where the heck did that come from?
I don't know. I'm sharing some context with you.
Because a barber doesn't cut hair until it's
the
dust.
Occupation exposure of being a barber. I'm literally reading it word for word. I don't know. I'll look more into it for you if that helps. We'll do another episode on the occupational dangers of being a barber.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. That's not a whole episode. Group 1, so definite carcinogens, include tobacco, asbestos, and processed meat. Some of which are still sold today. So
processed meat. So how does it get in processed meat?
No. That's not in processed meat. Processed meat is a definite carcinogen. So I'm finding other things that there is no anyway.
So I was fixated on the barbers.
No. Yes. You're just confused. So it's not, even though it's not definite, it's not nothing.
There's probable...
You don't get that label unless there is...
hazard.
Yeah, absolutely. The human studies are, in the words of one of senior toxicologist, messy. And researchers have come to genuinely different conclusions from the same data. Regulatory agencies, including the US EPA and the European Food Safety Authority, have concluded that glyphosate is unlikely to cause cancer at realistic exposure levels. So the exposure levels we're exposed to.
Sorry, who came up with that answer?
The US EPA and the European Food Safety Authority.
Right.
I don't know if I trust either of those bodies. The IRAC says probably carcinogenic, and both are looking at overlapping evidence and reaching different conclusions. Partly because they're asking different questions. The IRAC asks, can it cause cancer? Whereas regulators ask, does it cause cancer?
Right, absolutely.
At the levels you're exposed to, and they are different questions with very different answers.
My goodness. How are you supposed to work that out as a consumer?
Well, I don't know. And it's so widely used on UK farms, the glyphosate. It has been found in beer, including major brands. A US PIRG study found it in 19 out of 20 beers and wines tested.
This is trace elements of it.
Yes, yeah. The main sources in beer are water, malt and hops, but the malting and brewing process removes much of it. So only around 2% of the glyphosate originally found in raw barley ends up in the finished beer, and reported levels in European beer have typically been about 100 times below legal maximum residue limits. So it's detectable, but it's not.
So I suppose it all comes down to how much you actually drink.
It's a bit like spraying your garden with weed killer and then accidentally licking your finger. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
or eating
it's
a tomato,
not great.
Eating tomato afterwards.
The actual truth is, no one really knows.
No, those triggers, the little bottles, they contain a little picture of a dead fish and like a pond with no water in it and a dead tree, basically showing that.
Don't spray your pondy tree or your
fish.
Fish.
Don't drink this.
All right.
Don't spray it near anything that you want to live, animal or plant.
Well, it is a toxic chemical.
Absolutely.
It's supposed to be because it kills stuff.
Yeah.
There have been some studies. There was a landmark study used to defend the safety of it, but it was retracted by the Journal of Regulatory Toxicology and Pharmacology. Fascinating read. 25 years after publication, because actually Monsanto was included in its preparation. So it wasn't exactly an unbiased report. Yeah. It was written with their help, but without disclosing their support in writing it.
Okay. I'd love to see the redacted elements.
I imagine it was just a load of black lines. So the Supreme Court case, which is happening right now, the core of the case before the Supreme Court is that under the Federal Insecticide, this is going to be hard to say, the Federal Insecticide, Fungicide and Rodenticide Act, that's a thing, the ASIDE Act, it cannot be held liable for failing to warn of a cancer risk if the EPA has not found such a risk and does not require a warning. In other words, if the government says your product is safe, can a jury in a state court say it isn't and make you pay for it? That is essentially the debate. So we had the oral arguments, decision expected by the end of June. If Monsanto wins, Bayer wins, it could effectively shut down the remaining tens of thousands of lawsuits. But if it loses, their liability exposure will just continue. And the $7.25 billion settlement proposal is currently on the table. Looks pretty likely if that's the case.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot at stake there.
There's a lot at stake.
But there's also a lot at stake for further corporate
100%.
Blame for a slew of other chemical items that are produced.
Yeah, if you're saying you've got
companies.
this tiny little, tiny trace of it in there, I'd be interested to know what other traces of other things are in your beer as well, and where do they come from? You know, has it got
and how harmful they are?
The mud off a gnat's feet where it's stood on your plant or whatever?
Yeah. There's an amazing story about a chemical that it's actually I think it's another weed killer. I think it might be another weed killer. I think I have to do some digging on that because actually it's a fascinating story. Yeah. People ended up in the factory ingesting it in their sandwiches, breathing it in and all sorts, and it polluted an entire river. And that's completely the other end of it, you know. So when you've got people, you know, the production of that chemical, that compound, well, how clean is the environment around the production facility? You know, what else is being
what else are you picking up
killed around it? Yeah.
It is really interesting, and it's, I mean, obviously the glyphosate, isn't just in the weed killer. They also, in UK barley farming, use it as a pre-harvest desiccant, so to dry out the crop before you harvest it. So it's one of the main routes for getting it into the barley.
Right.
But it's a practice the Brewers Association explicitly says it opposes. Doesn't mean people aren't doing it, but it explicitly says it opposes it.
Depends on where you get your barley from, I suppose.
Well, an organic barley is not treated with any of those chemicals, but organic certification doesn't guarantee zero residue because of the spray drift from neighbouring fields. There is no way, unless you're growing it in a greenhouse maybe, that you're going to be completely free. Yeah. The most honest thing a brewer can say is we source our malt carefully, we test where we can, and the residue levels in finished beer are currently well within legal limits. Whether those limits are set at the right level, that's a really different question entirely. So, do you... Would that put you off a pint of beer? No, of course it wouldn't. What would it take to put you off a pint of beer?
I'll never put a spoonful of it in every pint of beer. I might be tempted to stop. Yeah. Yeah,
but it's just so bizarre.
But if it's in beer, it's going to be on grapes, isn't it? You know, grapes.
Will it also be on your cheese that you're...
On my cheese. Cows eat the grass.
That is true.
Mind you, we're not going to deep dive into that. But yeah, any crop
Yes, in theory. But even a crop that's organically grown that's in a neighbouring field to someone that's got spray drift,
you're
absolutely ruined.
Mm-hmm.
But then equally, I don't know, let's say I spray my driveway with Roundup to get rid of the weeds, and then I walk back through my house and it's all over my carpet that my cats are on or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Does that cause a problem? Should we worry about this probable carcinogen?
And the thing is, because it is it's a compound that what am I searching for? It's cumulative, isn't it?
Yes.
So
it will build up.
It goes into the body.
Yeah.
It builds up.
Yeah, it's got nowhere to go.
Does it ever come out of the body once it's in there? It's like a forever chemical.
I believe it's a forever chemical, but I haven't looked into it in any detail.
Okay.
But this is literally the court hearing at the moment is one of the most consequential product liability decisions in years. It could make a massive impact.
Okay, so
and that's just the US.
Right. Yeah.
There's still all the other countries in the world.
So this inquiry that's going on is going to be something to watch over the next few weeks, months, and probably years. Yeah,
I mean, because it depends what the decision is. If the decision's actually no, they're fine to keep using it, then it will go quiet. But if the decision is they're found to be liable, that was going to drag on for a long time, because we know that settlements do not come quick.
Yeah. Wasn't there a link with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma?
Well, it's a type of cancer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a type of cancer. But no, it was specifically picked out. I remember seeing the news article on it.
It's horrific. But now you know, next time you go to a craft beer festival, the first question you need to ask is, what's in my pint of beer? Yeah. And then what strength is it? What are the flavour notes?
What are its taste characteristics?
So yeah, enjoy your next beer festival.
Very much.
No problem at all.
Thanks for supporting us by downloading and listening to this episode.
And a massive thank you also to Dolly, Emily, Nat and Lewis and the BTD Studios for all your expertise in bringing our podcasting dream to reality.
We'd love it if you commented on this episode, as we'd really like to know what you think and what you might like us to cover in future episodes.
And we'll see you on the next one.